Okay. I got a new obsession here. Um, discovered this thing called one-page rules. Here's the deal. I do like Warhammer. I actually really like Warhammer Fantasy until they killed it, and even liked 8th edition. That's the one I mostly played. I was gonna get into it earlier, but just couldn't quite get there. And then once 8th edition came out, I played it, had a lot of fun with it. Of course, it was super complicated, and then they killed it, and I could never play it. My go-to game has always been Flames of War. I've got plenty of models. Um, can't ever get to the conventions to play with people anymore. So I rely on my local guys to play, but they're very busy. They have families, they have plans, vacations. They're always doing something. So it's very difficult for us to get together. So I was watching a video on solo games because, as you know, I play a lot of DVG games. And here is the marriage between the two worlds. Two worlds are colliding, the Warhammer world and the solo game world. And I'll explain right here. So they've got several games here. They've got the Grim Dark Future, which is basically Warhammer 40K, got the Firefight, which is Kill Team. They've got Age of Fantasy Regiments, which is uh, the classic type of fantasy. Then you've got the Age of Fantasy, which is more freeform. Um, I don't know if this is Age of Sigmar or Skirmish is Age of Sigmar. I'm thinking the Skirmish game is more Age of Sigmar because it's really just a couple of individual models going and fighting it out. Whereas Age of Fantasy is much like Age of Fantasy Regiments, except you don't have the rank and flank. The regiments is the rank and flank. And then they got another one where you got a ship to ship game, which looks really cool. And I'm definitely getting involved. But there's two things that really draw me to this game. Well, several things. Let me just go through them. First of all, the rules. So if you click on Grimdark Future, there's three things. Download the rules. You go here and one page, back and front. That's it. That's the whole rules that you need. Of course, there's more rules to this that you can put in. There's diagrams and explanations that if you want to get a bigger rule, but this is essentially it. It's a very simple game. This is how you move. You can move 6 inches and shoot, or you can move 12 inches and punch people in the face, or just move 12 inches and not shoot. Um, then you shoot your weapons. You have a skill rating, and if you roll your skill, if you get it, you hit. If you don't, you miss. Then they have a defense rating. They roll the defense. If they make it, then the hit is blocked. Otherwise, they take a wound, and usually that means the model is dead unless it's a bigger model. And that's it. You have AP on your weapon to make the defense tougher to make, but that's essentially it. You have a little bit of morale tests, a little bit of terrain rules here, nothing major, and the game is super, super simple. And then you got your special rules here for, your units are going to have different abilities to do. So they stick to the one-page rules. People will say, yeah, well, if you get the basic rule booklet, which is more traditional, I would say. They have several pages with this is where you have diagrams, and it gives you a little bit more explanation so that you can get clarification, and then a little bit more clarification on the morale tests, more graphics here to help you understand the game, and then they have the special rules. And so you got 16 pages for a booklet with explanations in it. And that's, you can get more rules if you join their Patreon, but they've got mission cards, campaign rules, and here's another one, solo rules. So they have rules where you can deploy a second army on the field. It's got rules of how it deploys, how it moves, what's it going to do. Is it super smart? No, it's just, like a zombie army, coming at you and going after certain, turn off my phone. Going after certain objectives and so forth. It is objective, based, but, yeah, you've got Solos. So even with my friends can't come over and play, we can't get together because we're too busy. You have the artificial intelligence rules so that you can play a game without somebody else. This is uh, this is a huge deal for me and my situation that I can play a game and not necessarily have an opponent. Now, build your army, go on Army Forge. Here's another great reason. So let's say, Space Marines, Battle Brothers, I've got the Dark Brothers. Um, this is free also. You get on here, the rules are free. This is free. You click on, what you want, add it to your list, and then you can click on your, um, let's say you want him to be a captain and you want to know what captain means. You just hover over it, you get the special rule, and let's say you want to give him an energy hammer and a jetpack. All right. And then what you could do is you got cards here. So you could just print out the card. You could print out this. And what's even better is that you can do this on your phone, your iPad, whatever, and you'll have a list here. And what's great about having on the phone, the iPad, is you go over here and you can see the special rule. You just tap on it and you'll get the special rule. If you print it out, the special rules will print out on only the special rules that pertain to your guys. So it is super neat, super fast way to make your army and make a list that you can print out or put on your phone or iPad. So that is another really cool thing. It's got all the points there. They're trying to make it balance as much as possible since it's all pretty much open source. And finally, join the Patreon. I joined the Patreon because I thought this was really cool. Um, you join the Patreon and you get all these miniatures. Uh, Once a month, they're going to release miniatures. So, for instance, this month, they've got that's coming out. You'll be getting all these alien hives, which is basically Tyranid type stuff, and then Empire, um, Human Empire, which is basically it's the steam tank, if you remember, and then the volley gun, and bounty hunter, and all these other, the gunners on horseback, and you print them. They send you the STL files, and you go print them. You have a friend that has a printer. You go. I went out and got a printer that just to get into this stuff because one of the big things that I really can't stand about miniature wargaming is having to invest so much money into it just to have the options of what you want to do. So, so for instance, let's say you want to get these guys, the gunners, on horseback, and you want to have a particular option on there. Well, when you buy the models and you put the options on there, unless you magnetize, that's it. That model is the way it's going to be. And if you change your mind later and think, well, I don't think that's really working out in my games. I'd wish I'd had this particular one. Well, then you got to go out and buy a whole nother set of models. And I don't like that. And here I can model the ones that I want to. And if I want to change an option on one of them, then I just print out that one model that I need and take out the one that I don't want. And I don't have to go out and buy any more. And once you have the printer and the filament is not very expensive. It's $20 or something. And I'm told you can print out a ton of these models here. You can make a whole army out of one roll of filament. Um, yeah, there's some issues there with getting into printing yourself. It's a whole nother hobby that I'm learning about, but I really really enjoy it. So, for instance, let me pull up one of these things here. So I could show you what I'm talking about. Let's see, where did I put it? There, miniature games, 3D models, uh, one page rules, 3D print. Okay. So for instance, what I did was I learned to use one of these programs so that I can take my model and I put them on a base, and I'm gonna print them on the base already, so I don't have to, glue it to the base, I don't have to glue the arms or the head or anything. I can position the arms any way that I want, the head any way I want, if I want to. They give you parts that you can do these things. Now, this particular model, you don't have too many options. They give you different models already constructed. I just put them on the base so that I don't have to glue them to the base, and then they pop off and so forth. They give you textured bases that go with this. So I'm really super excited about getting into this hobby. Yes, there was an entry barrier getting the printer, but I was able to find one for under $200. We'll see what the kind of prints that I'm going to get out. It's an FDM printer. I'm told it's not particularly great for miniatures. I already tried on a friend's, and they were good enough. Yeah, they weren't as good as the resin, but the resin I've got issues with the toxicity of it, and I just haven't set up my house for dealing with that. But once I do, I might go into resin if I really, really like it and really want to keep going. But the 3D printing is such a fascinating thing that I don't mind getting into this. And if it works, and I can just, I just want to get models out so that I can play and have fun. And once this printing gets going, I could print out as many as I want. So what happens on, let's see, l- the monthly thing, you get a certain amount of models. So for instance, in August, this is the list of human. We're going to get a bounty hunter, engineers, engineer and horse marksman, steam tank, and a volley gun. And they give the theme bases every month and game aids. Game aids are like tokens, objectives, so forth. And then the alien hives, we're going to be getting these alien hives in this month. And every month you get a certain amount. Usually they take about 6 months to complete the entire army, but they also give you terrain. They give you one of the fleets. I'm going to be getting the Alliance. I already have the Xenos, and then a bunch of terrain here. And then they give you 2D stuff that you can get. And of course, if you missed, like let's say I missed out on the first 2 months of the Empire, I can go back on the monthly releases here and purchase them. And you can see the prices are pretty high. Um, this release, right? Oh, that's $60. I thought it was $40. Oh, that was release 3. This is the one I got. That was the last month, so they updated it. Good. So I'm missing these two, and they're $40 each. However, if you are a Patreon, it's 50% off. And then at some point when they reach a certain goal of like a stretch goal of how many subscribers, then they give you 70% off. So for me, this is $20, this is $20. So I can spend $40 and catch up on all the models that I have not gotten on here. And you could go back as far, they have basically Tomb Kings, Mummified Undead. Then they got the Robot Legions, which is essentially the Necrons, Saurons, which are the Lizardmen for fantasy. Then they got Duchies of Vinci. They come up with their own stuff, and this is a different army for fantasy. Let's see. Uh, then we've got Beastmen. And what's interesting, Beastmen are actually good guys in this universe. Eternal Destiny, which are kind of like Samurai Tau type of army, but they are different. There is a coalition of Dao that looks more like Tau, but this is close enough that you can use their models for Tau if you wanted to. And then the Jackals, which is a new sci-fi race. Um, you got the War Demons, Change Demons, Sauron's Star, so basically lizardmen in space, change demons, plague demons, lust demons, ratmen, which are again are actually good guys in this universe. Blessed Sisters. So if you like the nuns with guns, that's a sci-fi race, and that's it for the old stuff. The Ratmen, of course, Blessed Sisters, and now they're getting into the Human Empire, and they're redoing the Alien Hive, which is the Tyranids. So next month on September, they're going to be starting the Space Dwarves, and then in November they're going to be doing basically the Vampire Counts. So the models look great. I think I'm pretty impressed by how nice they look. You know, depending on your printer. And I mean, if you want them to make it for you, you can order the models. You don't have to print your own stuff. But I really do think that this could be the future of miniature wargaming, where people design it, they put on an STL file, and then zap it to you. You just buy their patterns, and then you make as many models as you want for your own personal use. You just can't sell them. Now, there are some sellers out there that'll give you a license, a merchant license, so that you can sell them. But right now, one page rules, they're just like, look, this is for personal use. Make as many as you want, keep them as long as you want. But they're not, you can't give them away. It's just for you yourself. So that's the only rule that they have in there. And that's basically an honor rule, as long as, I'm not going to go further into that. But point is that this is such a great idea. And 10th edition just came out for Warhammer 40K. It looks really good. I really would like to play it, but I just can't keep up. Every time I turn around, I mean, last time I bought, I think it was 6th edition or 8th edition. I don't even know. I don't even know what edition I was trying to get into. And they keep changing the rules on me. They keep changing the codex, and now some Space Marine are leaving, and all my models are no good anymore. And I'm just tired of trying to keep up with Games Workshop. It's a great company. They do a great job in the sculpts and community and so forth, I guess. But that's just not me, and it's time for a change. I'm going to give this a shot. I'm definitely going to be putting out some battle reports, whether it's with some buddies of mine or by myself. But yeah, this is going to be my focus for the next couple months. Sorry about you fans for DVG. I did order the Robert E. Lee game, and that's definitely going to come up when it comes out. I'll give you some updates on that. But for the foreseeable future, this is what I'm going to be focused on. So I hope you enjoy this little journey that I'm going to be going on, and love to keep up to date. Please comment below. Do you love it? Do you hate it? You want to know something about it? You want me to do a video on a certain aspect of this? Just put it in the comments, and I'll set it up for you. Thanks for watching.